So this will be the last part in my series about my review on the last 3 Call of Duty games, and now we're on to Black Ops. So starting with the campaign, for me it was a campaign that didn't really have such a good story. I mean, it ties in a bit with zombies with the forest, but the characters in this were bland. I mean, Hendrix there, he was alright, but to me, you know, the missions were stupid, the characters were boring. I didn't really want to get to know them like I did characters like from MW2 and World at War. But I think for me they're the best campaigns we've seen from those 2 Call of Duties. But with this, I mean, they put you in a great setting like Singapore. This was a really good first mission for me. I'm also going to be doing a video on the gun I'm holding right now, which is a multi-lock-on rocket launcher basically. So yeah, I'm going to do a video on that. But you know, the characters were bland, the missions were weird, and it just got a bit, you know, you couldn't really keep up when you got into the whole storyline aspect. I mean, I think they had good intentions going forward with the campaign. For me, it didn't come out in the best way possible. I mean, they had the whole creator class, they had the like the special abilities that you could do, but for me they weren't. I didn't really use them as much as I thought I would. I mean, obviously you use specialists in multiplayer, but this, they're kind of the same. You have like this I don't know how you'd put it, like adrenaline rush with this one I'm using right now. You press it and then you just become like this super soldier on cocaine or something right here. You know, you fire faster, you reload faster, you move faster. But for me, you know, the campaign was pretty lackluster, and I was hoping that it was going to be something good, because the last Black Ops campaigns have been pretty decent. Black Ops 1 campaign was a really good campaign, taking you back to the Cold War. But yeah, for me, Black Ops 3 campaign didn't really cut it for me. So moving on to the multiplayer. This multiplayer has to be one of my favourites. You know, I would say it's probably one of the most balanced Call of Duties we've had to date. I mean, the only thing that isn't balanced is the pre-patch of Vespa. That thing is OP. The M8 needs to have a little bit of a nerf. You know, it's really good at close range, long range, and medium range if you're accurate. Accurate. I can't even speak today. But yeah, I mean, the game modes they have in this they're fun. I love the Chaos Mosh Pit, putting all the small maps together. I think they did that really well. The accessibility for the maps, for the weapons and stuff. The ranking in this game is brilliant. Dark Matter, I think, was such a really good addition to the camos. It wasn't that hard to get. I mean, I stopped playing Black Ops for a while, so it did take me a bit longer. Yeah, the weapons are really good. I mean, I could use any weapon in the game and feel comfortable with it. Not so much as the snipers, but I think if you are going to start off the game, the best weapons to probably use are SMGs and assault rifles. But if you want something that has like a massive magazine size, I'll definitely say use the BRM. I think that's one of the most underrated weapons we've seen. People don't use it as much as they should. So yeah, I mean, the Shiva here is really good. Doesn't show right there, but yeah. I mean, even the pistols are amazing in this game. The RK5 is so good. You'll see it in a minute once we come up with all the guns in the game. But multiplayer for me was such a really good thing. They got real, you know, players behind it, and I thought it was such a great game mode for Black Ops 3. Obviously you get it every year, but this one was really good. Moving on to the armory and the showcase of all the weapons. So we'll start off with the submachine guns. For me, probably the best one there at the moment has to be the VMP. I mean, I see people running around with it so much. The Razorback's an underrated weapon as well. I don't see people using that as much. The Pharaoh is really good. The Vespa pre-patch is probably the best one there. The Weevil used to be good. The Kuda for me is just an all-round beast of weapon. I think that's an amazing gun. Obviously you have the HG40, but I don't have that sadly, because I don't sink money into this game. The KN44, XR2. XR2 is a really good weapon. I think that might have been buffed recently, because it has been such an amazing weapon recently for me. M8, you have the FFAR, and the Peacekeeper, which is something that I really want to get. It's one of my favourite weapons we've ever had. Yeah, Shiva's Man of War, what a gun. That's a sick gun. Shotguns, you have the KRM, the 205 Brecci Haymaker, and the Argus. For me, my favourite is probably the Brecci, just because it's so easy to get quads with. If you go back and watch my first ever video, you'll see I get I think it's one or two quads. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, 1 or 2 quads or triples, I'm not sure, but yeah, you can go and watch that. You have the new LMG, the Ajax or the Ajax, however you say it. You have the BRM, my favourite LMG. The Gorgon is deadly at long range, which is something you should really try and use. The Dredge I don't use as much, and neither the Dingo. But yeah, I mean, LMGs were really good in this game. They were all so powerful, but I would really use the BRM a lot. You have the Drakon, the Locust, the PO6, and the SVG. I also have the RSA, which I got from my weapon bribes. This is the sniper rifles, by the way. You have the DBSR, sorry, double-barreled sniper rifle, which is the DSR. PO6 is a fun weapon to use if you can get on streaks with that. Pistols, you have the MR6 and the RK5 I was talking about, such an OP weapon. The Marshall, the LCAR, and then you have the Rift E9 at the bottom. The Marshall's such a deadly weapon at closer range. It does get really annoying sometimes. Sorry. Yeah, MR6, I used to love using this pre-patch. I mean, because I have such a good trigger finger, I don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, I have a pretty fast trigger finger. XM53, Black Cell, L4 Siege. If I had to use any, which I don't really use launchers, but if I did, it would probably be the Black Cell. And then obviously you have the melee. I only have the combat knife, sadly. So yeah, I mean, my favourite is the baseball bat. And then you have the NX Shadow Claw, which, you know, it's decent. It's not amazing. So yeah, and then specialists, you go through all of them. We'll have Blackjack, Ruin, Outrider, Prophet, Battery, Seraph, Nomads, Reaper, Spectre, and Firebreak. My favourites, obviously, Vision Pulse, Score Streaks. I mean, the score streaks in this game were amazing. Definitely, when you put the Wraith, Raps, and GI unit, that was my favourite thing to do. And then you obviously have the contracts now, which, you know, they're decent. So moving on to zombies, this is something that I was hoping for to be so fucking amazing, and they brang it with this zombies game. I mean, Zetsubono Shima was a shit map. I mean, that's my highest ever round on a zombies map, which is only 50. That's a low level, but that map was glitchy as fuck. I mean, you could fall through the map out of nowhere, hit death barriers you didn't think were there. It was stupid. But then you had before that you had the Eisendrache, which for me was such a sick map. The bows were basically the Origin style, so if you ever played Origins. So yeah, you had the Panzer Soldats as well, and then now you have Gorod Krovi, which for me, I mean, I don't like it as much as I did the Eisendrache, but I mean, the map is massive. It is a huge map, and I think they really did deliver on that. Yeah, dragons in this map. You have the Wonder Fizz. It also brought new Gobblegums as well. You have new DLC weapons in the map, the FFAR. You have the PPSH coming back, one of the best zombies, probably the best zombies weapon we've ever had in my eyes. It's not as good as the one from World at War, but it's definitely an amazing gun. And you obviously have the Raygun Mark III, which is sick. It's such a sick weapon if you have it. You have the specialist weapon, and this is basically the Purifier for multiplayer, and you have the the punch as well. You can punch zombies down, which is really cool. So yeah, Treyarch did an amazing job on Black Ops 3, which I think, you know, after Ghost and Advanced Warfare, we needed something like that really got the community hyped for another Call of Duty game. And I mean, they delivered on this game. Truly, I mean that. So I think going into Advanced Warfare, I think we should all be skeptical, just because, you know, in the last I can't even speak. Infinity Ward game was Ghost, and not a lot of people liked it, but for me, I thought it was a decent game. So yeah, I think going into the next game, everyone's going to be quite skeptical about how it's going to be, but I think I really want to play their take on zombies. I think that looks like hella fun. So yeah, I mean, I can't really fault Black Ops 3. It's probably one of my favourite Call of Duties. Probably top 3 or top 4 maybe. Definitely top 5. It has to be one of my favourites. So yeah, I think Treyarch really did. I know I'm saying this a lot, but they did do amazing. I think what helped as well is Advanced Warfare and Ghost was such a letdown, so that people were so hyped when they announced Black Ops 3. Like, they weren't going to go back to World War 2, which, you know, saying that, it wouldn't have been a bad thing, but I think with Black Ops 3 they've tied up the Black Ops series now. You know, they've done their trilogy, their 3 games, so I think they're going to move on to something else, hopefully a new IP, or maybe World War 2, which would be so welcomed. I think would be so sick. So yeah, I can't stress enough that Black Ops was such an amazing game. You know, campaign wasn't as good as I hoped. Multiplayer was probably one of my favorites, and zombies was so good. I mean, we still have one more DLC to go as well, so you know, it can only go down from here. So I mean, Treyarch really have to deliver on their last DLC for me, which I'm hoping they do. I really hope they make. I really want it to be a full zombies DLC, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was my review on Black Ops 3, and I'm gonna give it an 8.9 out of 10. I think this is probably one of the best Call of Duties we've ever seen, and I can't wait for COD 4 Remastered. And this has just got me even more hyped for the next Call of Duty. So yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and watch the next one. Thanks.